Hi, everyone. It's Marilyn Alauria, and welcome to Who Can It Be Now, the podcast. And today we have a very special interview for you with Elysha Lenkin. She is a fashion stylist, clothing stylist, and we had her do a class in membership called Rock Your You Style. And she talks a lot about how women can express themselves through fashion so they look current, feel confident, and they stay true to themselves. And it was a very interesting conversation because clothing's interesting, right? I remember when I was little and my mother would take me out. I don't remember if it was twice, it must have been twice a year because I lived in New York. So we had the seasons and we'd go to Macy's and A&S and Gimbels because it was back in the days of A&S and Gimbels. And we would have a budget for clothing for me and she would shop for clothes for me. And I had a very individualized style when I was younger. Like I was wearing all black before all black was in. And I remember I would go out and pick all these different things and I'd go out in all my black outfits and people would be like, what are you going to a wake? You going to a funeral? Because it was like Brooklyn back in the late 70s, early 80s. And then black came in, but it affected me. And also my mother wanted me to be really preppy. And I hung out with a bunch of people that were like hippies. So I started dressing hippie-ish. First I was dressing like a disco queen. Now I'm really aging myself. So it'd be like candies, and jeans and, candies with fur on them. If you don't know what candies are, look them up. And, jeans and tops and feather earrings and big hair. And then I met the hippies and I started hanging out with them. And those became my friends, really good friends, still friends with them to this day. So I'd start wearing like more kind of hippie-ish style clothing, which is, more like bohemian. And my mother wanted me to be a preppy. And it was the day of, I saw the alligators on the shirts and things like that. And I did have a lot of friends that were preppies and she loved how the preppies dressed and she really wanted me to be like that. So clothing kind of got really messy in my head. It was like, what was my own style? What was I supposed to dress as? If I didn't dress this way, then I wasn't, I was being individual and dressing in black and then I was being called out for that. I remember I had one outfit was like turquoise pants and I think, can't remember what the top was, but I would wear these bangle bracelets that matched. Like I really had style until I had none. That's what happened to me. And it was like my style just got stripped away. And now I'm like very plain. I like jeans and t-shirts and, shirts and I love flip-flops. I just like live in flip-flops, but nice ones. So talking to Elysha Lenkin was really fascinating and interesting for me in the way that she describes style and getting into your style. So I think you are going to totally enjoy this interview. These are the types of teachers we bring on Membership for Your Soul. They can cover all sorts of topics. Here we are covering style, because it's about 360 living. We're not just talking about developing your psychic ability or speaking with your guides or using your intuition or, all that kind of stuff. Or crystals. We're talking about style and health and business and all sorts of things because you know what? Those things are important in our life. So grab a cup of tea, grab your dog if you were listening to it on a walk, go for a walk and listen to this great interview and enjoy it. And if you want to use our very valuable coupon, go to MarilynAlauria.com, look at it for our digital classes, and you can buy one of our classes, not this class is only in Membership for Your Soul, and put in the coupon podcast. And then a little surprise may pop up and say, hey, you want to join membership for a month for $1? And you can go check it out. A lot of people are doing it. And what we do is we send you emails before your 30 days is up. So don't worry. We send you like 2 emails saying your 30 days is going to be up. You can cancel now. Let us know if you want to cancel. If not, you will be charged such and such. So we make sure that you're covered. And you should also mark your calendar because, it's a two-way street responsibility. But we do send you emails to make sure that you know that the time is up. And, some people are coming in for 30 days. Some people are coming in for 30 days and staying because it's so good. All right. I don't know. I had some chocolate before this. Sugar-free chocolate, but I still had some chocolate. All right, guys. Enjoy the interview. And I will talk to you soon. All right. Have fun. You'll hear a little music and then the interview. Bye. Hi, everyone. We are here with Elysha. How are you, Elysha?
I'm doing well. Thank you. How are you?
I'm good. So when I saw this topic, I was super excited because clothing is a thing that it's such a hot topic. And it's not a topic of mine, to be honest with you. So there's so much I want to ask you, but I want to, I know everybody knows who you are, but I want to introduce you on the recording in the right way so that anybody who's listening to this down the line who doesn't know you, who hasn't done your class yet, will get to know you. So I'm going to do that now, okay?
Okay.
And everything's really very informal, so you'll see that with me. So Elysha, I keep saying that wrong, Elysha Lenkin, is that how you say your last name?
Yes, Elysha Lenkin.
Lenkin. She did an incredible class for you guys. If you haven't seen it yet, it was the October class, Rock Your Style. And it's all about dressing intuitively so that your outside matches your inside. And you can make people feel the way you want them to feel, which I can't wait to talk to her about. I just want to let you know a little bit about her in case you don't know her. She helps women express themselves throughout fashion, so they look current, feel confident. Please don't judge my clothes today. And stay true to themselves. As a commercial stylist based in New York City for more than 20 years, she styled women of all shapes and sizes, including Tina Fey, Carrie Underwood, and Serena Williams. In her masterclass, Rock Your Style, she shares how to use your clothes to create confidence and crush the 3 big limiting beliefs that are keeping you from showing up as your most beautiful, authentic self. And you can all read about her at ElyshaLenkin.com, and we will, of course, share that in the bio and everything like that. Elysha, welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me today. I am so excited to be here.
Me too. And first I have to ask you, we always ask the guests for a list of questions, but I always go off the list because I'm just inquisitive. Do you still live in New York City?
I do. I live in downtown Manhattan.
I used to live in Manhattan. I lived there for 10 years. Where downtown?
I am on the Lower East Side. I live on Grand Street, so I'm near the Williamsburg Bridge.
Yeah, I used to live in Soho on West Broome Street, I think it was. I just
West Broadway.
West Broadway. Thank you. Was like one of my, I loved it. My last place was Chelsea. Now, you were a stylist. Are you doing any stylist work for anybody now, or is it mainly your own business?
So I got my start working on commercial shoots, working with magazines, ads, celebrities. And in 2019, I started the pivot to working with private clients because I started slowly working one-on-one. And I noticed that women, everyday real women, were struggling with getting dressed. It was not like the models and celebrities that I was working with on the shoot who were showing up to do a job, always very professional and very fun. But when I started working with everyday women, I just felt the calling that these women were struggling. A lot of it had to do with confusion, not knowing what to wear, or feeling uncomfortable in their body. So that's when I decided that I was going to help them. I was going to help them figure out what to wear so that it doesn't have to be such a stress. It doesn't have to, because you start your day every day getting dressed. So let's make that a good experience so that you can show up in the world in the way that you want to.
So when you work with people, are you working on an intuitive basis too, like getting to know them? It's not even intuitive. It could be just personal, just getting to know them, getting to know their personality. Like, how do you work with people to find their own style and so that it's more fun for them?
Yes, I get very close with my clients. I adore them all because it is my job to get to know them so that I can understand how it is that they want to express themselves. So we get to know each other. And then I take all my experience that I have on styling. I've styled hundreds of bodies. So I take who they are, what they love, and how they want to look. And I help them put that into clothing and accessories so that it becomes easier for them to get dressed. So yes, I get to know my clients very well. And as I said, I adore my clients. We meet on Zoom. I work virtually with all my clients now, and it's so much fun. I had one client tell me that I was the dessert in her day because she'd be working and then coming and looking at clothes and talking about clothes was so much fun for her.
So do you, I'm so fascinated by this. Do you shop for them, or do you send them like online links? And tell me a little bit of the process of how that goes, and then I have other questions.
Yeah, sure. So when I work with my clients, most women who come to me, they are they need to reinvent themselves in some way. So maybe their body has changed. Maybe their kids are now out of the home. So empty nest, or maybe they're switching gears with their career. Maybe now they're working home all the time. So for something in their lifestyle has shifted, or it could be their body. And I help them define their style. So basically we look at what their current body shape is, and we match that with what they love. So taking their personal preferences with their data, their body shape, their coloring, and we put that together and we create a signature style. Okay. So then from there, we streamline their wardrobe. So I work on a styling platform. It's virtual. So I have digital closets, digital lookbooks. So I see what clothes they have in their wardrobe. So we look together, we decide what's working, what's not working. Maybe how can we restyle things to make things work better, and then what's missing. And then from there, I update their wardrobe, and that's when I shop for them online, and I put together a digital lookbook. And it sort of looks a little bit like Pinterest in that way, that there's a picture and then you click and it takes you. So they can shop from that lookbook, or they have it on their phone. They can use it as a frame of reference. If they prefer to shop in person, then they can look and see, oh, this is like the shape that Elysha picked out. The collar is the same, and then maybe they're in the store, so they can just use it as a reference to guide them to better choices. So basically I help my clients define, streamline, and update their style.
How much percentage do you normally have them throw out in their closet?
Each client is different. So I've had women that's been the main focus of so I customize every service to the person. That's the process. And then I customize it. So I've had clients we've spent a long time on the streamlining part, because they had a lot of clothes and they needed to really clear things out. And also what I love doing is reworking what they have. So many times women will just say to me, wow, I never thought to do this. I never thought to wear it like this. So it's just bringing in a pair of fresh eyes to help them get a new perspective. So, some clients, they have a lot that they need to get rid of. And then some clients don't want to get rid of anything. So, we focus more on restyling what they have and updating and things like that. So it really depends on the person.
How long is the process that you work with each person? How long is that usually?
It's usually about one season. It's a seasonal process.
And then when people come to you, you said this earlier. So if they're like, look, I'm looking to date, or I just went through a divorce, they're going through things like that as well. And then you're helping them.
I'm helping them reinvent. Who do they want to be? How do they want to show up? What's the energy that they want to put out that people receive from them? Because I know a lot of people, when they talk about clothing, they think about, well, how do I want to be perceived? But I like to think of it as, how do I want to be received? What is the energy that I want people to get from me? So for example, I knew I was going to come here and talk to you today, and I specifically put on my beautiful day shirt because I knew that would be a fun, light shirt for me to wear, and I put it on. I mean, I put a cardigan over it, but my intention was so that the energy I'm putting out that people receive from me is lighter, is fun, it's happy. So you can use your clothes to really impact and inspire those around you. So yes, if somebody is now out in the dating world, this is definitely one of those transitions that someone would come to me for. We would talk about, well, what do you want to look like? How do you want to feel? How do you want to show up? How do you want people to receive you? And then we take those feelings and those ideas and we match them to actual outfits and clothing.
And this, I would imagine, has a lot to do with color too, because does color set off a certain type of mood and energy? And
color, the way that I work with color specifically is what's going to look best on you. So some colors make people look healthy and vibrant, and some colors don't. So I guide my clients to the colors that are going to make them look healthy and vibrant. So everyone can wear pretty much any color, but you want to get there's certain tonalities of that color that are going to be more complementary based on your skin, your hair, and your eyes.
I love it. So I'm looking at your website because I wanted to take a look at it and stop wearing the wrong thing, which is so great. And when people come to you, do you have them fill out a form? Do you just sit and interview them for a while? How does that work?
So the first thing that they do is they fill out a questionnaire. It's called the Style Discovery Questionnaire. And this is where they take their measurements, because I need measurements. This is when I ask you lots of questions and with pictures. Do you like this? What do you like about this outfit? So this is just the initial intake, so I can get an idea of what you like and what your body is. So there is a questionnaire that happens before we sit down for our first call.
And then does anybody ever fight you on the clothing? Like you're like, I think you should wear this, or this is going to be really good for you, or that's going to be really good for you. And they ever like, I don't really want to do that. That's uncomfortable for me. Does that happen?
Yeah. I mean, well, my job is to provide options. So I'm never attached to any of the options. I always have a lot of options in there. So I know that something is going to work. So for example, I had a client once who carried most of her weight on her lower body. And to balance that, it's a good idea if you want to bring more volume and draw more attention to your upper body. So I had thought that these strong shouldered tops were really cool, and I thought she would really like them. And she was not interested at all when I presented them to her. And then like 6 months later, she sends me a picture of an outfit that she's wearing, these strong shoulders. She just needed to warm up to it. And she wasn't ready at the time when I presented it, but maybe it stayed in the back of her head. And 6 months later, she sends me this photo and she just looked so fashionable. And I just was so happy and she looked so happy on top of it. She's like, look what I'm wearing. Like, looks good.
That's great. And then I'm assuming this incorporates accessories as well. Is that correct?
Yep. Shoes, accessories, the whole head to toe look. We work with where you are and what you need and what you want. So some clients have very minimal style with accessories, and other clients like to have bolder pieces. So it's very customized based on someone's personal preferences. But yeah, we do accessories. If you need coats, we could talk about coats, shoes. I want you to have that complete wardrobe that makes it just feel easy and without stress for you.
And then, so I can't wear jewelry usually because it's an energy thing. So I'm assuming you would be able to work with someone like me without jewelry, just in terms of clothing and things like that.
Absolutely. Yeah. If you don't wear jewelry, then we could find other ways to complete your outfit.
I love that. So then I haven't even gotten to your questions yet because I'm fascinated by this topic. And so people, and I also want people understand how they work with you. So they come to you, there's usually probably a fee for you, and then there's a budget for clothing. And do they tell you what budget they have for clothing?
Absolutely.
Okay.
That is one of the questions on the initial questionnaire. And then before I shop, we go back, because that had been a few weeks ago. So we go back, we touch base. So I have the price points on what do you like to spend on your tops? What do you like to spend on your bottom? So it's very clear what the budget is that I'm working with. So I work with women who have all different types of budgets.
Great. I love this. So let me go to your questions now, because it was all just so interesting. Are you doing any styling now?
Yeah, I'm busy.
No, not that. I mean, on commercials and things like that.
So interestingly enough, no, I'm not. And
yeah, so you're done with that.
I was phasing it out. So that's what was so interesting is I was phasing it out I decided in 2018 that I wanted to start looking at other ways that I could work with what I do. And then in 2019 is when I was doing a hybrid. I was doing in-person shoots, and I was also working with private clients in person, and then I was doing the virtual. So it was a hybrid year in 2019. 2020 came, and I think I did 2 shoots at the beginning of 2020, and then everything shut down. And people are going back on shoots, but I have zero interest in doing that. And it's just I've moved on. So now I'm all about serving the everyday woman and working with women from all over the world.
The reason why I ask that is because people here are always building businesses. So I'm always interested in the transition. I worked in TV and transitioned out, and I think what you're doing is phenomenal. And what you just said too, you can work with people all around the world doing this type of work, which is great.
How are you? This is more of a business question because I'm interested in how you're growing your business, and I have a feeling they are too. How are you finding clients?
So I do a Facebook group. I do marketing, online marketing, Facebook, social media. I send out emails. I get referrals from previous clients as well as referrals from colleagues, other people who have health coaches, for example. I have relationships with people in complementary businesses where we have referral partnerships with.
Great. The reason why I'm asking this is because, and I love everything you're answering. When I started my business as a reader and I was leaving what I was doing at the time, it was kind of the same thing. And I love the fact that you said referrals with health coaches. I would imagine even therapists or people like that, because they're with people that are helping them to change from the inside out. And then you're like really helping them to change from the inside out too, but feel really good in their clothing too.
Yes, exactly. They're very complementary. Career coach. I work with so I have a career coach that she was my client originally, but then she became a referral partner after that because women who were going for her, they wanted to upgrade their positions, their jobs, a lot of corporate people. And then it's a natural progression then to want to improve your appearance when you're working on yourself like that.
And dating coaches, you're very approachable, Elysha. Yeah, because some people, so I'm not into clothing. I'm not very good at it and stuff like that because I'm not very interested. We'll just say that. And I think it's important. I think what you do is completely important. That's why I'm saying this. And you're very approachable. You wouldn't make somebody like me feel bad about the fact, like if you went into, I would be like, oh my goodness, I don't really want to show Elysha my closet because there's things from Costco in there. Like, do you ever find that anybody is, because you, to me, seem very, like I said, personable. Like, I wouldn't feel that bad. Like, I would say to you, honey, you're going to come in my closet and you're going to be like, is anybody ever ashamed of their closet?
People are very ashamed. And, first of all, we build to that. That's not session one. So by the time I'm looking at your wardrobe, we have established a relationship. And number one, I've seen it all. Number two, I don't care. It's like when I was saying I present the options, I'm not attached to any of them. If you love your Costco shirt, that's great. If it makes you happy and it looks good, right? I don't care. And so the relationship that I have with my clients is I adore them, and my goal is for them to feel more confident in their clothes. So the way to get there is going to look different for everyone. And I think the reason I'm so approachable is because I'm just a real person. I'm not super fashiony where it's all about the high-end brands. If you like the high-end brands, great, let's go shop them. But let's work with your budget. Let's work with what you're comfortable with. I just want you to feel really confident, and I want you to have fun. I want you to really enjoy the process. That's also part of it.
Yeah, I would think so, because otherwise it could be pretty traumatic, because I would imagine like people come to you with also a vision in their own lives. I want to fall in love, or I want to do speaking on a stage or different things. And that's a vulnerable, they're working towards something really exciting for them. They want somebody to support them in that way who's going to see that vision with them. Do you feel like you share the vision with them as you're working with them?
And show them even what's more possible.
Oh, I love that.
They have their vision and like what else is possible that you didn't even see that I see from my perspective.
That's great. Love that. I knew this was going to be an interesting thing for me. So I'm going to go to one of your questions because I want to make sure that we really profile your work and what you do. So how does getting dressed impact our energy? Can you talk about that?
Well, we get dressed every day, or most of us are getting dressed every day or most days. And when you start your day from this place of frustration, anger, or scarcity, like I don't have anything to wear, when you start your day from that place and then you just get dressed, that is literally what you're putting on. You're putting that on, and then that's how you're moving about your day. That's how you're interacting with people. On the flip side, if you can start your day from a place of feeling gratitude or even just acceptance of your body and where you're at, or excitement, enthusiasm, creativity is one that I love. If you can start your day from creativity and finding a little bit more joy in the process, then that's what you're putting on, right? So that's what you're putting on. And then that's how you're starting your day and you're moving on. And then when you interact with people, that is the energy that you're putting out. So thinking about what you wear and having it be creative or inspiring, this is always a great place to start your day. And because that's how you're going to move through the rest of your day.
That's great. And then with COVID and everything, because most people are virtual now, so are you having, is anybody struggling with like, I don't need to wear pants or, any of that kind of stuff? Has it shifted what you shop for people?
So I believe that when you are getting on a Zoom call, a video call or anything, and it matters to you, you care, it could be seeing friends, it could be for business, whatever it is, I believe that you should put on a whole outfit because of the energy, because you just feel different when and it doesn't have to be your suit or anything like that or your dress. It can still be comfortable, but it's about shifting into that energy of who you want to be and how you want to present. And for me personally, when I'm wearing my scrubby sweats, like the sweats that I'd wear when I feel sick, like that's just not going to get me into that energy that I want to be in for the calls that I care about. So I believe, maybe you don't do the shoes if you don't want to, but I believe the whole outfit. When COVID first hit last spring, I got really into dresses. I was wearing a ton of dresses because they were one and done. They were easy. It was my whole outfit. I felt polished and put together, but I was still comfortable, and since I wasn't really leaving the house. So yes, it has shifted. I'm going to be honest that the people who come to me to work with me are looking for a head-to-toe style reinvention, because we're not just planning for this present day right now. We're creating your identity for how you're going to be moving forward. So there's going to be a time when we're back outside regularly and doing all those things. So we're getting dressed for that. But the work from home thing has been a big shift, and people want more comfort. I know for me, I loved wearing my blazers. I like to think about what I was wearing a year ago, and I was wearing a lot of blazers at the time, and I don't really want to wear my blazers anymore right now because they just feel too bulky sitting in my office. So doing a lot of sweaters. So there's subtle shifts you can make with your clothing and your fabric so that it feels comfortable, but you also look more polished and pulled together.
So true about that. Like I can't put on hiking pants when I'm working, even though I have good hiking pants that I love because I hike a lot but I'm like, I can't do that and do my work. I have to be in I couldn't I don't know how people work in yoga pants. Like I can't do that stuff. But
there's something that signals the brain when you put on your work clothes. There's something, it signals the brain like, okay, and I'm going to work. And even if you're just walking maybe 5 feet, it's putting on your work clothes that signals that I'm now at work. So my brain is going to function in a different way. And then when it's over, then go put your sweatpants on or your hiking pants. And then it's time to relax and your brain shifts into a different phase.
Do you ever get into undergarments with people?
Sure. If that's important to them. I mean, it is important for everybody. Some women care about that more than others, but I think having a good bra for every woman is really important. And I recommend going to an in-person bra fitting if you can. It is life-changing.
Yeah. Oh, this is great. So then the other question is, so what's the first thing someone can do to feel more confident in their clothes?
So discovering your style, reinventing your style, it's a lot about self-discovery and self-awareness. And, whether your body has changed, whether your lifestyle has changed, the first thing that you can do to reconnect and to feel confident in your clothes is to get reacquainted with your current body shape. So really become familiar. The body changing is a very big thing that many of my clients have gone through. So that's why I tend to talk about that one a lot, because they get very confused and they don't know what to wear. So getting familiar with your body as it is now. And it's fine if you're on a weight loss journey and you're working to lose weight, but not to think about, when I lose 15 pounds, then I'll be ready. No, let's get ready now. Let's accept where we're at right now. So get reacquainted with your current body and also get reacquainted with your personal preferences, because I know if I look at a picture of myself from even a year ago, I'm like, what was I wearing, right? So your taste changes. So get reacquainted with that, because if you start to update your style based on your previous taste, then you're never going to want to wear anything. So get familiar with what it is I love. And the way I recommend to do this is to really open yourself up to inspiration outside of yourself. So wherever you see ideas, TV, movies, social media, other people. I live in New York City. So for me, I always loved, right now it's not happening as much, but I would love just going out and about and looking at all the women and how they were dressed. I found it so inspiring to get ideas. And so look outside of yourself for inspiration and then reconnect to what it is that you love. And when you see an outfit or somebody who you're drawn to, get really clear and notice, well, what is it about them that I'm drawn to? Because that's going to help you reconnect to what you love. Everybody, maybe it's the way she wears her bag. Maybe she wears her bag crossbody and you like the way it creates like a cool looking strap, so get really specific about what it is that you like, because this is going to help to build your vocabulary so that when it's time to update your style, exactly what you're looking for.
So I'm going to take me, for example, because we're talking about me right now. If I'm struggling with what I like, I should really just become observant to what I like out there.
Absolutely. Start to fill your brain with new ideas and like I said, be specific. So maybe it's just the color. Maybe it's the outfit that has the top and bottom that are monochromatic. Maybe that's what you like. So really articulate exactly what you like. But getting ideas from outside of yourself is a great way to start remembering and reminding yourself of what you love, because we forget. We get into our patterns. We get used to doing the same thing. We start, maybe you're wearing tunics and leggings every day. And then one day you're like, I don't even really like this anymore, right? It happens because we stop paying attention. So the first step is to start paying attention to yourself, to what you love, and to bring it all back to that.
So now I have a question, because sometimes I'll go on Pinterest and I'll look at like the clothing and what's the fashion. And then I can't tell sometimes with Pinterest if it's 2019 or 2018. What's your feeling about that? And I'm pretty casual in style. So what's your feeling about that? If I feel good about it, does it matter?
I mean, that's a personal preference about how you want to be trendy or not, right? So I think that trends can be really fun to play around with, and I love the idea of trends for somebody who is interested, but they're not necessary at all. I would much rather have my client look really clean and classic and feel like herself in a more timeless look that has nothing to do with what's going on. I would much rather see her happy in that than trying to keep up with every single trend that's coming and going, because that's a lot to pay attention to.
Do most people, okay, I'll go back to that question in my head. So it's okay. So this is great. So why do our closets get cluttered?
Okay. So this goes back to you asking how many people want to let go of stuff. So I have a lot of experience with women who don't want to let go of stuff. And the reason that closets get cluttered is because we are afraid to let go. And the reason that we're afraid to let go is because we want to feel prepared, right? So you're afraid that if you let go of that black dress that you haven't worn in 7 years, you're afraid that one day you're going to need that black dress, right? So that's why we keep it. But the reality is if you haven't worn that black dress in 7 years, first of all, it may not even look good on you anymore. But second of all, it's okay if you get rid of it, clear it out, make space for what you do love and what you will wear. And then if you do need another black dress, there's plenty of those that you can go get another one. I see a lot of women do this with clothes because of their size. Okay, so I was with a client once. This was in person. I was in her closet and we're going through her closet and I see this pile. There were about 30 pairs of black pants that basically all looked the same. And I was like, what are those? She said, oh, those are my fat pants. And I understood. And she said, I'm holding on to these because my weight fluctuates. And I'm like, okay, I get that. You want to feel prepared. You don't want to have to buy a whole new wardrobe if you gain weight. But do you need 30 pairs? Number one, maybe let's trim that down to less. And then also her pants were for when she gains weight. So, that she's holding on to this future that she doesn't even really want. So it's taking up space in her closet, and she sees it and she's thinking about it. And I understand she wants to feel prepared, but I also think that is creating a lot of clutter that you don't necessarily need.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I wasn't making a face at you. Something popped up because I got to turn off Facebook. I love that because there's something I want to ask you about that. So do you go into people's closets and you help people hold on just in case I get heavy again or when I lose weight again? And it is just clear that stuff out. That's what you feel.
A timeline. Put it on a timeline. Like, I think that's fine. Okay. So for example, right now, I know that there's a lot of people who have gained weight because of COVID.
Right.
So, okay. I understand that. So let's keep those things for a year. Let's do a timeline. And then when that time comes, set your timer. And when that time comes, just clear it out. And then when you lose the weight, when you gain the weight, go treat yourself. Go treat yourself to some new pants. You don't have to buy 10, get one, get two, get a couple that you will feel really good in at the moment. Because, going back to my client with her fat pants, like, are you going to feel really good when you put these pants on? You've gained weight. You're probably already stressed out about that. Let's get you some nice pants that you can put on so you can feel good in the moment.
Yeah, it's so true because if you're not feeling like physically at your weight and everything, you still want to put on clothing that makes you feel good.
This is huge. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I understand. That's why I say I understand if you can be on a weight loss. It's fine that you want to keep working to lose weight. I support that 100%, but let's get you in some clothes that give you confidence right now because that's going to help you on your weight loss journey as well. When you feel better, you feel more motivated, more confident, you're going to be more apt to stick to your plan.
Do you help? Because I find a struggle when I pack to go away. I hate packing. And then if I'm going to be gone for like 5 days and then a 2-pound difference could affect me in a certain pair of pants, like even if it's just how I feel or it's the way it gets distributed. I'm assuming the work you do will translate into a suitcase. Or do you help people with that at all?
So that would be something. So the style reinvention program is what I do with all my first time clients because we're really setting the foundation. And then my clients, when they want to continue working with me, it gets very customized based on what they need. So for example, I have a client right now. She lives in Seattle and she's relocating for temporarily. And so we're going to work together to pack up what she needs to bring for that. So that would be something, a specific packing session would be something that we would do after I already know you very well. I already know what you like. I already know how you want to dress. Then we'll talk about what you need to bring for these trips.
That's good to know because that's something that I struggle with and I can't stand it, to be honest. I just hate the whole packing thing. It makes me nuts.
I understand. Yeah. It's for a lot of people, they feel like that. So one quick tip I can share with you is when you're packing, you really want to make your pieces versatile. So you really want to get the most bang for your buck with each of your pieces, specifically shoes because they're really big and heavy. So spend the time up front when you're packing and outfit plan your outfits and make sure that you can get 2 to 3 from your tops. You want to really just make sure that they're all versatile and they work for multiple different occasions.
Now, when you say 2 to 3 with your tops, you're not going to wear the top the same time or you will? Or it's just
differently. If you have a button up, maybe you could do your button up tucked into your jeans and then maybe you do that button up over the dress for another, like a third piece. So just get really versatile with how you're going to wear your pieces so that you can bring less. So I really encourage you to just take the time up front. It does take more time, but then when you're on your trip, you know exactly what you're wearing because you know what you're going to be doing. So you know what you're going to wear. So it's putting in that time up front and then the payoff is when you're on your trip.
So what's a tip to declutter our closet? My closets really aren't that cluttered because I actually am pretty good at going in. But there are some things, you talked about that black dress. I'm like, I have a black dress that I've just been carrying from location to location and I've never worn it ever. So it's like that thing needs to go in the garbage or get, given.
Donated. It's hard. It's hard. Believe me, I understand. It's hard. You get better the more you do it. I like to stay I live in Manhattan, so I'm sure you can remember we don't have the space that a lot of people have. So I keep a pretty tidy closet, and I'm pretty good about getting rid of most things that I haven't worn. However, I've got a couple things in there that I just want. These things are not like a black dress though. These are more like special. Like I have a fun jumpsuit that, you know what I mean? So it's more pieces that are not as replaceable.
Yeah. There was something you just said that I was going to ask. Oh, so have you ever had anybody who's like, I just want to do black? And are you able to help them just style in that color? Okay.
Yeah. So what I do with my clients who want to wear just black is I introduce them to color, and I show them these are the colors that are going to look amazing on you. And I've definitely have clients in New York who want to wear mostly black, and black is easy. I get it. There's a time and a place for black. But I have one client particularly, her whole wardrobe was black. I was like, we gotta try some color on you. And by the end, she had prints and colors, and she loved it. She was afraid. She didn't know what she was doing. She didn't feel, you need a little bit of courage when you're branching out into new ideas and trying them in your life. And she needed just a little bit of a push, and she needed an expert to tell her that, no, this is going to be good on you as well. So extra confirmation.
Yeah, it's interesting because there's a belief system with a lot of business people that it's almost like Steve Jobs always had like the same top and pants. And I studied with Todd Herman, and he's like, that was one of his things. Like he just knows he's black, brown, and blue. I can't remember what it is, because they don't want to spend the mental capacity thinking about what they're going to wear. So they kind of have a uniform for themselves. But I think that works with what you do too, because you're taking the thinking out of it. It's like almost, it becomes part of their personality. It feels like to me that it becomes simple enough when you style them, they're going to know going to a store, oh, this does work. This doesn't work.
Well, that's exactly what you get when you work with me, is you get the understanding of what your style is. So like my client I told you, who 6 months later shows me the picture, with the big shoulders, like she had confidence. She knew what looked good on her, and she was ready to try it on her own. So that's the biggest thing that my clients get. They get new clothes, they get new outfits, but they get a new understanding of what their style is, what that looks like, and how to dress. So they really get a new way of seeing themselves. That woman that I told you about, she looked so fat. When I first met her, she's an academic. She lives in North Carolina. When I first met her, she was, I would not describe her as fashionable. And now I see her like, you look stylish.
It's really, I got to tell you, it's so important. It's something I'm thinking about because I'm doing a photo shoot again too for my website, and I can't stand the whole thing. And I used to be an actress and have to do headshots and have different outfits and for the auditions. And it really is important, because even when you're on stage and you're talking on stage, or even I'm doing Facebook Lives, I always just will put like a white t-shirt on, because I just am not, I've kind of lost a bit of what my style is. I'm not really sure. So,
and it happens. It happens to a lot of people. And that's why the first thing to do is to just get reacquainted with what you love. So when you start watching shows or seeing people, start paying closer attention, because that's where it all starts, because it happens to a lot of people. They lose touch. They're busy. They've got a lot of stuff going on. And if they don't, that's another thing, is a lot of my clients, I've got women who love fashion, and then there's the clients who I work with who just never cared about it, but they understand the value of it. Yeah. So they need to learn. So if you don't ever really have an interest, then it's even easier to just like, not going to think about that.
Yeah, I used to, and I think I lost it. And then I think now I work so much from home and everything which is a shame, because just going to the grocery store or anything, I'm getting ready to date again. It's like there's certain clothes that you do need. So I do have a question, and I want to go to one more thing. But when I used to watch the Gilmore Girls, I'd be like, oh my goodness, I friggin' love that outfit. But then I'd be like, the show's 10 years old. So what do you do then?
Okay. Yeah. So we started to talk about this, right? Gilmore Girls. I know exactly what you're talking about. I just finished the whole however many seasons with my daughter, and I was actually looking at Lorelai's clothes. So her pants are all like low rise. She did very bodycon kind of a style. It felt very like 2000s. Yeah, it looked very 2000s. I really noticed that how that show was styled. It didn't feel current to the times now. The pants have changed a little bit and the styles have changed. So if you low rise are actually back now. Do you like low rise or you like?
I do.
You like low rise. They're back now. So you're in business. And if you like to, she had form fitting clothes as well. Mm-hmm. You can all put that together and just help it feel more current by updating with modern touches. So buy something that's more current, that's right now, and wear it. That's going to help modernize the whole thing.
I wouldn't even know. So do you ever get people that psychologically, because I like hippie kind of dresses and hippie type of things, and then like my mother's she wanted me to be preppy. Do you ever deal with clients that have that kind of psychological struggle where they weren't accepted for what they wore and now they have to get back into accepting what their style is? Like, do you ever see that at all?
So you mean refinding themselves or reclaiming?
Yes, refinding themselves, or, this is who I am. Like maybe they lost their identity in their clothing of what really is comfortable to them.
I work with a lot of moms. And I find that they really lost their identity and their style. They went into mom style and they used to be really sexy or really fun the way they used to dress. And then that's all gone. So that is something that we work together, but we update that to who they are today because they're not that same person. They're not. I have one client I'm thinking of particularly. She really wanted to dress sexier, but her problem was that her kids were being embarrassed by the way she was dressing. This is why she came to me. She said, my kids are embarrassed by how I'm showing up and I need to figure out how I can express myself, but I don't want to embarrass my kids. So that's what we did. So we put together, we figured out, what's your signature? What looks good on you? What do you love? Okay. Now how can we make this feel modern and updated to who you are now, the mom of the older kids?
Do people ever hire you for just one-offs? Like I have an event and I need to get dressed for that. Do you ever work with people for that?
Yes, I do. So that would be, so initially we go through the style reinvention and that's the process where I really get to know you. I like to understand my clients in a way that when I'm browsing, I see things and I'd be like, oh, that's good for Marilyn. And I can go put that in your look. It's just very quick, the technology. Yeah. So I'm always looking for clients. So I have them all right here. And I'm like, oh no, that's perfect for her. And I'll quickly just put that in your lookbook. So it's really important that I know everyone really well. So for events and packing and things like that would come after we've worked together through the style reinvention.
I had a wedding last year that, oh my goodness, I wish I knew you. It was hell.
Where was it?
The shopping for it. What?
Where was it?
It was at, oh my goodness, that famous Houdini's mansion in LA.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And, it was one of my closest friends and what an event. And I found the morning of the wedding, I was still friggin' shopping with three dresses in my closet and bought something that I'll never wear again. Ever.
But when you wore it to the event, did it feel good?
Yeah. It was like, I knew she wanted us to dress I'm a very close friend of hers. So
okay.
It was a beautiful dress. And I imagine that if I showed it to you, you'd be like, we could do this with it because it is beautiful, or just get rid of it, Marilyn. It doesn't matter, but it's hell for me. To be honest with you, it's hell for me. And I've lost my style. So I love this conversation because I'm sure maybe people can relate to it, but I know I can. Because it wasn't, when I used to work for MTV and NBC, I was more into style then. And I think about like what happened that I've lost my style and lost my interest in clothing. And I'm not really sure what it is. So I love this conversation. What happens, like, what kind of things do you ask people to help them? And you don't have to I don't want you to give away your secrets. but to help them, does anybody ever come to you and feel like they've lost it completely, like the mom? So
A
you
lot
know
of
what
people.
to ask them to get them into that place, right?
Yeah, well, it's a process, of course, but initially one of the first things I do with my clients is I ask you to articulate in 3 words, how do you want to look and feel every day? So I call that the North Star. And that they tell me that right away. And they think about that. It's not something like off the top of your head. You actually think about that and you come up with 3 adjectives to define how you want to look and feel. And we hold those words very close to us the whole time while we're working together. When I'm shopping, I use those words. And so articulating how you want to look and feel is a really good way to regain or reconnect to how you want to look.
And then I think the other thing too for me is comfort, because there's certain things that I have in my closet, the material is, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to sit in front of a computer all day in that kind of material.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I notice that a lot. I notice a lot of people, they'll work from home. So, so for example, like I was saying about the blazers, I just don't want to wear my blazers anymore because it feels too bunchy. So it's about finding, there's like knit blazers that they have now, which is like a sweater, but you can still get the lapel for people who like blazers. So there's options to feel comfortable and still look stylish, or maybe you don't care about looking stylish, but just looking put together and polished. There's a lot of options.
No, so I love what you're wearing.
Yeah, I'm just wearing a t-shirt and a sweater.
And I love it. It's so my style.
It's
I love
comfortable. And like I mentioned, I think about, what am I doing today? Who am I seeing? How do I want to be received? So I think about that. And I specifically thought about us talking today, and I decided I wanted to wear pink. I think about all these things, and you can do that too.
Yeah. No, you're opening my eyes. Trust me. So what's a tip or tool to always make sure you leave the home looking polished and pulled together?
Okay. This is something that my clients get very comfortable with. And some of them, when we first start working together, I have to actually send an instruction sheet on how to do this, but it's just to take a picture of yourself. So you get dressed, you put on your outfit, and when you take a picture of yourself and then you look at the picture, you're more detached. When you just look at yourself in the mirror, all the judgment and criticism comes in, and you see it in this way that you're used to seeing it. But when you look at yourself in a picture, it gives you a different perspective. So it's just a game changer in how you're going to start to look at your outfits more objectively. So take pictures, take selfies. And I have some clients who were so resistant to the
I was going to say, I would be horrified, I think, but it's such a good idea.
They would send me their pictures at the beginning, and I'd be like, look, we're going to have to, I actually have an instruction sheet, like the technicalities of how to hold it and all that, because there are some women who just never did it before. It was, and then when we're working together, you see it's really helpful.
Yeah. Do you ever find people are resistant to spend money on clothing?
Oh yeah, big time. People are resistant on spending money on themselves.
Yeah.
This is a huge thing. I have women who I work with who, when they go, they shop, they're shopping for everyone else, their kids, their husband. I actually just went shopping. It was not that long ago. It was a few weeks ago with my friend. And I'm like in there and I'm trying on all these different things. And she's got like 2 coats, one for her child. She's got her husband. She's like showing me things for my husband. I'm just like, not now.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, this is such an interesting topic. Do you ever think about doing group work at all with people? Is your business translating?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
So,
I'm very focused on one-on-one right now, but I will have a group later.
Yeah. I think that would be really fascinating to have.
Because the community support is everything.
Exactly. It just feels like a great conversation to bring people together and to have that conversation with each other, and also to cheer each other on, or however you decide to do it. But I feel like it would be really good.
Yes, that is in the plan.
That's great. So tell everybody what you're doing so they know how to find you. Also, I would think, and I don't know if this is a conversation you want to have, Elysha, but somebody may be thinking, hey, I want to work with her, but she feels like she's like $50K to work with. Like, how do you work with different people's budgets? And just, and that you're going to be doing something group wise, or anything you want us to know about you right now.
Well, anybody who is interested in working with me, I offer complimentary calls. So that is a call where we get on Zoom and we talk about where you're at with your style right now. Where are you struggling? And I share my expert insights on what's really holding you back, what really is going on here based through my expert insights. And then from there, if it seems like the right fit for us based on where you're at and where you want to go, if working together would be the right fit, then we will discuss what it looks like to work together. So I offer these calls. They're complimentary. I love connecting with people. So for me, just getting on a Zoom and talking about someone's style is very valuable for the person who's getting on the call with me, but it's also valuable for me because I love to help people and I love to talk about style. So that's available to everybody.
Great. I love that. And then we shared your email and then your Facebook group. What kind of stuff are you doing in your Facebook group?
My Facebook group is so much fun. And if anybody has any interest in style whatsoever or improving their appearance, then they definitely have to come join us there because I am incredibly engaged in that group as well as all the other women who are in there. And I, in addition to posting daily prompts that get you thinking about your style, what you like, what you want to wear. So daily prompts. I also go live every week with a style tutorial. And actually tomorrow I'm going to be, I offer this occasionally in my group where I offer free outfit feedback and women submit outfits. And then we talk about them. I go online and I talk about this is what you're doing really well. This is great. Here's some new ideas maybe for you to think about if you want to switch things up a little bit. So every week I do live styling tutorials in there. So that is definitely a good place to come.
I love it. This is great. So definitely, I think I'm going to join the group too. Definitely join the group. Definitely book a complimentary call if you know it's something that you want and can do. Everybody knows I have a lot of boundaries. So I'm always like, don't book that call if you don't have any,
Oh, I love that.
And then definitely follow Elysha. And I think I'm looking at your website's great, by the way. I love it. Do you have anything that's an opt-in where you collect names, your email address?
So I have a free style guide, and
I like that.
And that is a great first step. When we talked about getting acquainted with your body and what looks good, this style guide will help you do that. Basically, gives you ideas based on where you carry the weight in your body. Do you carry it in the hips? Do you carry it in your middle? Do you carry it in your upper body? And it just gives you outfit ideas, ways to wear your clothes that will flatter your figure.
And is there anything you want to leave us with?
I just want to remind everyone that your desire to look amazing in your clothes is not self-indulgent. It's actually your self-expression. So just remember that.
Repeat that. That was great.
Your desire to look amazing is not self-indulgent. It is your self-expression.
Love that. Thank you so much. Have a great, great night. Thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you so much, Marilyn. That was so much fun.
Thanks, everyone. Much love to all of you. And definitely check Elysha out and join her Facebook group because I think you're going to get a lot of value from that. Great. Thank you, honey. Have a great night.
Okay, you too.
Bye.